The Voices for Food project, it is about food security, food policy, nutrition, and really utilizing the unique mission of a land-grant university. Our overall goal is to work with local food policy councils to assist them in making policy changes in their local emergency and supplemental nutrition assistance programs. And what I mean by that are like food pantries. And by targeting food pantries, we can also target those local food cultures and also food choices that are available in those pantries and to those clients and those families who use those foods. We've created a team, a transdisciplinary team of specialists in the area of nutrition, youth development, agriculture, community development, social marketing, and evaluation to help us with this grant. Extension is so uniquely positioned to lead this effort because we've had that long, distant relationship with food in the United States. And so this team is going to span 6 land-grant universities, and those land-grant universities are Michigan State, Purdue, the University of Missouri-Columbia, the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, the Ohio State University, and of course, South Dakota State University. We're going to work to address the program priorities that USDA has established under this highly competitive 5-year grant. And so we're going to work with the communities across these states to develop those food policy councils, again, to change policies that affect that access and that availability of those nutritious food choices. And our approach is not only to enhance food security, but we want to increase the quality of life for individuals in these rural communities as well. Voices for Food is used and designed using a community-based participatory research principles, which, just simply stated, it really integrates researchers with extension team members in partnership with that community and its members. And so with this type of a research model, we want to point out that community members are our equal partners. And so they're going to be working right alongside of us to really identify those problems, help us to collect that information, and then of course to develop solutions. Because the best source of information about the community is really the community. In year 1, our team is going to work to identify those communities that we will work with and develop that standard research protocol so it's consistent across all the states. Then in years 2 through 4, we're going to work with these new learning communities, as we call them, to develop food policy councils and really implement that nutrition education component piece that I talked to you about to increase that availability and selection of those healthy food choices in those programs like food pantries. The other unique piece about this is that we really want to focus on that youth component. So you heard earlier that we'll have those youth specialists who will be involved in this work. And that's because we want to encourage youth to be members of these food policy councils. They're our future. We want to show them, we want to bring those leaders up, those future leaders. And so we're excited with that initiative as well. And then finally, in year 5, what we will do is we'll really focus our efforts on making sure the work is sustained in those communities, because we want to create a model that can be implemented across the nation. It is important, and you've heard it before, but I do want to stress it again. It's that poor nutrition today does not necessarily result in starvation, but it results in chronic diseases such as like obesity or heart disease or cancer. So we're dealing with a whole nother realm of food access and food security. And financially challenged and underrepresented citizens are at the highest risk. And so food provided at those emergency food programs like food pantries, it often is provided with limited choice and is simply based on what's available. And so in addition, some families maybe don't like the foods or they don't even know how to prepare those foods. And so here in South Dakota, it's a huge issue because not only are we worried about those choices, but we also rank 50th in fruit and vegetable consumption among adults. And so we really need to work on making those healthier choices. And also in South Dakota, more than half of our counties really fall within the realm of what Dr. Dunn provided as that food desert definition. And so again, I'll repeat that. That's a low-income community where at least 33% or a substantial number of its residents live more than 10 miles from a large grocery or supermarket. And so in South Dakota, you'll find that, some of our residents live more than 50, 60 miles. So it's so very real to us here in the state. Lastly, I just wanted to tell you a little bit of the breakdown of the funding. So of that $4 million, $400,000 is going to remain in South Dakota each year to fund this work. And we're going to hire a full-time coach that we call to work with these communities. And also money of the amount of about $20,000 over the 5 years will be provided to each of the communities that we work with, because we know we need to also provide them with resources to make some of these policy changes. In addition, we're going to support that implementation of that client choice pantry so that clients can walk through the newly designed pantry and make choices. And those choices will be healthy choices based on the USDA food guidance system, or what we know as My Plate. So when we're done, we'll have identified evidence-based best practices and resources in what we will be calling our Voices for Food kit, which then can be used by food policy councils across the nation as a resource for rehabilitating their food deserts. So thank you.